My presentation is on the National Theater of the Deaf. I chose this because since I was young, I've loved theater and I've loved ASL. Both of these things coming together has been super cool for me to see. I get to, understand how two of my favorite things can merge and be something great. So, the National Theater of the Deaf. Their motto is a wonder to behold. I really like that motto because it kind of summarizes just what I was saying there, how two things can come together and be really amazing and you would never know it until it happens. And I think that's so, so awesome. So, the National Theater of the Deaf is the oldest theater company that in the U.S. that has continuously gone on tours and produced their own works. The National Theater of the Deaf has performed in all 50 states as well as all 7 continents. Through that, they've performed on the Disney Channel, Sesame Street, at the White House, for royalty all over, on Broadway 80 times nationally, and 30 times internationally within those 7 continents and 33 countries. The National Theater of the Deaf was the first company to actually perform in South Africa. The first company from the West to tour the People's Republic of China. They represented the USA at the Los Angeles Olympic Art Festival. They performed in Taiwan through the American Cultural Center to represent the US during the Deaf Olympics. And adding on to all of that, they've received a Tony Award. In 1968, the Little Theater of the Deaf was founded to produce shows for a younger aged audience. The Little Theater of the Deaf is also still producing and touring today. On slide 3, you'll see their mission. So their mission is to present theatrical work of the highest quality with a unique performance style, blending American Sign Language and spoken word together. I think that's super awesome that they decided to do that. Like I've said multiple times already, I love ASL, I love theater, and something like this, honestly, it just, floats my boat. So founding the National Theater of the Deaf. So the National Theater of the Deaf was actually started because of a show called The Miracle Worker. It was a true story. It was based on the true story of Helen Keller. The star of the show, Anne Bancroft, and the lighting designer, David Hayes, were both captivated by the idea that sign language and spoken word could come together so smoothly and be put on the stage in front of everybody to create a wonderful performance. The company began in 1967. At that time, for deaf people, there was no closed captioning on television. There was no captioning for televised emergencies or weather advisories. Telephones for the deaf were just invented, but they were 300 pounds, very expensive, and most deaf people just didn't have them. There was no 911 number for deaf people. They simply had to rely on their hearing families, neighbors, children, friends to call for them. So if they didn't have anyone hearing, they had no way of reaching 911. There also was no interpreting telephone services, meaning also that qualified interpreters were very rare. There is no such thing as the ADA at that point, so that means they didn't get those equal rights like everybody else. So in turn, they didn't get a lot of jobs. Most jobs they got were stereotypical jobs like janitors, seamstress, bakers, or printers. The jobs that didn't come in contact with a lot of other people, just their coworkers, which usually were other deaf people. Today, the Theater of the Deaf is located on the campus of the American School for the Deaf in West Hartford, Connecticut. After the Miracle Worker closed, David Hayes continued to pursue this dream, and after nearly 10 years, was able to secure funding from the Department of Education and launched the National Theater of the Deaf. The National Theater of the Deaf seeks out, trains, and employs deaf, hard of hearing, and hearing artists, so that way they can provide a model for other people to show how we can collaborate with all different, you know, diverse people and languages to create a good harmony and, in turn, a good product. They also teach classes on how to act. National Theater of the Deaf does accept online contributions through a secure website run by a nonprofit organization whose mission is to increase charitable giving by connecting people with charities and causes they care most about. On my presentation I sent you, there is a link, and you can click that link and it'll take you right to the site. You can share that link with anybody you'd like. That sends you to the spot where you can just donate right away. And if for some reason you can't donate online, or you don't want to, you would prefer cash or check, you can mail a contribution to the National Theater of the Deaf. And you can make your check payable to the National Theater of the Deaf and mail to 2 different addresses. I can let you know those addresses if you prefer. One is in New London, Connecticut, and the other is in West Hartford. The production fund was created in July 2008 with an initial goal of $200,000. The production fund campaign offers support of the National Theater of the Deaf, a way to provide financing for all of its programs. The revolving fund will allow the company to draw down for various productions and use income obtained through other gifts, ticket sales, etc. To refill the fund. So pretty much after they get all these donations, they're going to take it and put it back into their theater, and then the money they make from their theater is going to go straight back into that fund. So it's kind of just like a jumping off point for them. Funds must be raised for all production costs, including a main stage national tour, which is what they've been doing for a long time, and in order to keep them being the longest U.S. touring and creating original products company, they do need that fund. The funds must also be allocated for continuing the excellent presentations of the Little Theater of the Deaf and to reactivate a wide range of educational programs, including the Professional Theater School, which is what they have that I spoke of earlier that tells you how to do that. The Little Theater of the Deaf is something that I also found really important, because as a young child, I had a lot of hard times with kind of being confident in myself and really like knowing that even though I don't fit in, I'm still okay. And I know that this is something that a lot of deaf kids struggle with. Through people I've talked to and stories I've heard, I know that you don't always feel included because you're the deaf world, not the hearing world. And I believe that kids seeing that Little Theater for the Deaf is going to, really inspire them to reach their goals and go for what they want to do. And I'm really glad that there's an opportunity for that. Thank you so much for letting me share my presentation with you. And if you have any questions or comments, you can shoot me an email or comment on this presentation. I would love to answer them. And I'm really excited to see what you can do with all this information. Thank you so much.